Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make him bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really count the heat.
So let's talk about Alexander Volkanovski's legacy. Is he the greatest featherweight of all time? Where is it that by the time he's done with his career, could he become one of the greatest of all time? Could he reach Mount Rushmore of mixed martial arts? Guys, this video wouldn't be possible without our sponsor. That's right, Jimmy Bars. Get yo Jimmy on. That's right. Whenever you guys want to indulge, whenever you guys want a nice bar that's a meal replacement, a non-gluten-free bar, you guys make sure to go to jimmybars.com or go to your local Walmart and get yo Jimmy on. Alexander Volkanovski. Guys, with the win over Yair Rodriguez, he's almost getting to the point where he's pretty much lapping people. I mean, he has gone through the top 5. He has beaten everybody. If it's not him, it's Holloway. I mean, 145 pounds is one of the toughest weights in any combat sports, from 147 to boxing to 66 kilos and wrestling. It has, for some reason, I don't know what it is about that weight class, but it has always been the toughest weight class in combat sports, period. Where does a win like this put Alexander Volkanovski? Over a win over Yair Rodriguez, I mean, what would you rank him? Would he eventually beat out a guy like Jose Aldo? And my answer, guys, is 100%. Not only has he beaten Aldo, he's going to surpass his records through numbers and in the fashion that he's been doing it. He's been putting out the people who have put out Aldo. He's done a tremendous job. And, you know, what's missing for Alexander Volkanovski after this fight is potentially another bout or another shot at 155 pounds. There's only one guy that everybody keeps talking about, and his name is Ilia Topuria. But is he ready for a guy that knows how to kick? Is he ready for a guy that's a little shorter than him? You see, Ilia is 5'7", Alexander Volkanovski is 5'6". When you get short fighters to fight each other, sometimes if you're not accustomed to it, it'll throw you off. It happened to me against Demetrius Johnson. It's like, man, you're not accustomed to that, to somebody about your size, and then they bring that little bit of speed that you're not accustomed to. But will a guy like Ilia Topuria have it in him to fight against an experienced vet like Alexander Volkanovski? Is that power going to be enough to beat a guy like Alexander Volkanovski? I do believe that after this fight, if he does get past Yair Rodriguez, there's one more fight for him, and that is Topuria. And I think after that, he needs to go up to 155 pounds and, again, challenge for that title once again. And I know that Alexander is he's about it, man. I mean, he's a fighter that wants to make money, that he's just fighting back to back to back to back. It says a lot about him. I mean, the guy is he's constantly in the gym. He's constantly wants to compete. If he's healthy, he's going to fight. He's not protecting anything, and he's just out there just making money. So kudos to him for that. Now, him going up to 155 pounds. Let's say Islam beats Charles Oliveira for the second time. What is it that Alexander's strategy is going to be this time? Because if you think about it, what's made Alexander Volkanovski super successful, it hasn't just been his feints, his patterns, his lateral movements of setting traps. It's been his leg kicks. If you watch that fight with Islam Makhachev, he did not throw enough kicks like he did against his prior opponents. And I do believe that actually hurt him. Because when you break somebody's foundation, whether they're wrestlers or not, guys, it only takes about 2-3 hits, and you know, that's all she wrote. So adjustments that he could possibly make in that fight, you know, especially if he wins this fight in the fashion that he believes he could win, that he could dismantle the puzzle of an unorthodox, unpredictable fighter like Yair Rodriguez. Could he have those X factors with having more challenges and more experience and championship experience and be able to fight, Islam Makhachev once again? A lot of questions to be answered, but the only thing that I could say about Alexander Volkanovski, because I have picked on him a lot, and I do feel a little stupid after losing to, my last fight. But I've always respected this dude. I've always respected his talent, his ability, his IQ. You know, his ability of being short, having a long range, and being able to pinpoint a lot of his fighting, his tactical game plans. I mean, when you talk about guys that really understand the sport of mixed martial arts, like I think of Jones, I think of Demetrius Johnson, and now it's like I'm at that point where I'm thinking of Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, his train continues to keep running. And it's impressive the way that he's been able to win. It's impressive the fact that he said, hey, I'm not going to wait for Islam Makhachev. He could take his break. You know, give me the next best thing. Give me Yair Rodriguez. Give me the interim champ because I'm not here to protect anything. I'm here to continue to keep conquering. And that says a lot about Alexander Volkanovski. What you got for me, Michael?
Obviously, it's a big if, but let's say Volkanovski beats Yair and he somehow is able to pull it off and upset Islam and have the 2 UFC titles. Where do you think that places him on GOAT Mountain if that happens?
Yeah, because of his title run. How many title defenses does he have? Does he have 6 or 7? He has 6, right? I want to say Alexander Volkanovski has 6. So let's just say that he does have 6. Another title on top of that. You know, and because it's different becoming it's different going up a weight class and then winning the title, but it's different becoming a simultaneous champion. When you become a simultaneous champion, that means you own 2 weight classes, which has only been 3. There's been Conor McGregor in the males division, Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, and myself, simultaneous champions. I mean, with a win over Islam and then a win over, he would have to defend it in order for you to really put him on top of all of us. But if he's able to win it and then defend it, I think you would easily put him in the top 3 greatest of all time. I would put Jones, Demetrius, and then eventually Volkanovski. But we are talking about something that hasn't even happened yet. But if it was to get to that point, I think Alexander Volkanovski, because of his reigns that he's had at 145 pounds, with how many, Michael?
Yeah, so looking at it, he actually only has 4 defenses. It was against Max Holloway, Ortega, Zombie, and then Max Holloway again. So he has four defenses at featherweight.
Okay. Yeah, and Jose Aldo had how many defenses before he ended up getting knocked out by Conor McGregor?
So Jose Aldo, he obviously we're not including WEC here. So if we're not including WEC, it looks like he had a lot. If we count him as the UFC champ, it looks like he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like he had 6 or 7. I didn't realize he had that many successful title defenses.
He's gone through Franklin Edgar twice. He's gone through Chad Mendes, I believe, twice too. He's gone through a lot of tough opponents. I mean, it all comes down to the numbers. I mean, you can't really say you're the greatest, featherweight of all time if it's not based off of numbers, because we also know too that Jose Aldo also kind of died off in his later career. The same reason why he's retiring at the age of 35, 36. So living it that way, I mean, it all comes down to numbers. And the reason why I do put Jones and Demetrius, because look at the title defenses that they've had. 11 straight for Demetrius Johnson and, 14 title defenses with John Jones has fought for the title, I think 14 or 15 times. I mean, yeah, I guess that changes a lot of things. But when you do win a second bout, that puts you in a different category. It's almost like Israel. Like Israel has beaten a lot of people, but he's also overlapped a lot of people. He's also fought, Robert Whittaker twice. He's getting ready to fight him a third time. So I do believe Robert's getting ready to fight once again against Duplessis. But it's what it is. But if Alexander's able to pull that, I think he would just need a couple more defenses and then win a second bout. And then he would become, but who cares about the featherweight? Who's the greatest? Like you want to reach status where you're the greats. I'm not the flyweight great. Like I'm not. It's Demetrius Johnson. Like it all goes back to numbers. But when it comes to the accolades and who you've taken bouts from and going up divisions, like to me that means more to me than a lot of defenses, because that means you have the ability of literally going up and actually win is, hey, I'm able to not just defend my belts. I could have defended my belts at flyweight for a very long time. The problem is, guys, is I never wanted to make that damn weight. So what did I do? I was sick of making weight. I was struggling to make that weight. I was like, you know what? I'm ready to go up to 235 pounds. And I just went on a rampage on, beating some of the best bantamweights of all time. So I think the future is bright for Volkanovski. But at the same time, he has a fighter in Yair Rodriguez where if he just feels like he's just going to go in there and storm through him, he better be holding 5 aces, because I know Yair Rodriguez, he doesn't have kids. His full time is dedicated to strictly fighting. I mean, spending time in Toluca, Mexico, in high altitude for months at a time. I mean, the dedication that that kid has and the gifts that that kid has are really second to none. So it is yet to be known with Alexander Volkanovski, but is his future bright? It's super bright.